Welcome to the Danbury Democrats. My name is John Guglieltino. I'm your host. This evening we're going to be talking to the council people from the 6th Ward, Fred Visconti and Duane Perkins. And we're going to have an interesting program, so stay tuned. And without further ado, welcome to the show. And tell us a little bit about your background, as much as you want or as little as you want, but not to exceed 5 minutes.
About a half a sentence would be good. Right?
Okay.
Born and raised in Danbury, went through St. Peter's School, graduated from there, Danbury High, did some college. I worked for 30 years in Danbury Fire Department, retired and did a few other odd jobs here and there, and now I'm retired. My wife Mary and I are both retired and enjoying it.
Enjoying yourself, but when you're not doing your council job.
Yeah, well, that's going on 18 years, so
yeah, okay.
You get used to it.
God bless you.
My partner in crime over here, so
okay.
It's one day a month, right?
Yeah, 1 day a month. That's what they tell you.
Yeah, that's what they tell you. Yeah. Go ahead, Duane.
Thanks for having me here, John. Same story. Born and raised in Danbury. Went through the public school system. Went off to Northeastern up in Boston for my bachelor's, got my master's from University of Bridgeport. A couple of jobs in between, but where I am now is at Naugatuck Valley Community College, where I am a professor of business and computer applications, teach introduction to software courses, some nice fancy spreadsheet applications classes, and some business management courses.
So you come in handy when they're doing the city budget, right?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of the other council members.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you said you had your spreadsheet. Yeah.
Spreadsheets are good. When in doubt, put it in a spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly. There's been a number of things. I'm going to jump just a little bit. There was a mention of an ambulance station, a new ambulance station in the 5th Ward. Where's that located?
Yeah, we've been trying to get something in the 5th Ward, actually in the 6th Ward also, and on the west side of Danbury, which would be stationed there 24/7. The Rizzo Corporation is in the process of putting up some housing up on the top of Worcester Heights, and they have been good enough to provide the city with a building there with an ambulance, which will be there 24/7, and the people to take would be running the ambulance service, and it would be operated by the city and the hospital. So. Well, we're very happy about that.
That is very good. Yeah, because it's down on to begin with. It's down on the this end of town as opposed to coming from the other end of town.
Yeah, it's going to cut down the time, the response time quite a bit. So we're looking forward to do that, and we thank the Rizzo Corporation for doing it.
Very good. Roads, just to tidy up some stuff from the election time that we were talking.
No comment.
The roads were a little bit behind on paving, and you started talking about some roads that were done in the 5th Ward. You might want to mention the roads that were done, and then in the future you're hoping for a couple more, right? Brushy Hill.
Yeah, Brushy Hill was done last year, which was long needed and kind of overdue. We have a couple other roads on the schedule to be done this year. I think on top of both of our lists.
So they're scheduled a year. Yeah. There's much a year is being done. That's how it's being handled.
Lots of miles of roads, and you can't get to all of them.
No.
But one of the top roads on our list would be Grand Street. We have kind of Long Ridge somewhere kind of nestled in, but that's a big long road and a lot of resources that need to go into.
So in the next year, that's going to be
we're
working.
Grand Street gets done this year.
Okay.
And Long Ridge will not be too far behind.
Yeah, that's long, and that's a long curvy road.
Grand Street is
it's down from Deer Hill Avenue.
That's going to include not just the breaking up of the road and redoing the road, but there's a lot of drainage that has to be taken care of there too. So
I believe they may be putting.
It's going to be there for a while.
Yeah, they're going to be there for a while, but that'll get done this year. Long Ridge Road, and speaking with Mr. Iadarola from the Public Works, it's on the book. They've got people coming in and looking at it and what we can do there and everything. That's going to be maybe a year and a half or so. That's
Yeah,
going
because
to
you got those drains, the curtain drains or whatever.
all that
They probably haven't been touched in
all that gets
15,
done,
20 years.
All it gets done first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You have to do the drainage first.
Yeah.
right.
Mountain Road was done last year as well.
Yep.
Now, you want to talk a little bit about the bond issue? You were joking about the fact that maybe you can say a sentence or two, but whatever you think that you
Well,
want.
that was about something else, but so we passed
The mayor proposed a bond
proposed
issue,
a bond issue,
and then the Democrats had a problem with it. And
Well,
maybe you want to tell me what the
our
how
main
it went.
concern was to give voters an opportunity to vote for each component of it. So what we did was we bifurcated the bonding into education and into basically road improvements. And again, in our opinion, it gives the voters choice, and that's what our whole system is all about, is giving people choice and opportunity. So that's what we did. It also makes it harder.
So
to,
the question was divided into two, and they have to choose twice, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Right. It was
Yes.
split.
It was split.
It was split, which
Okay.
we asked to have done, and the mayor just had no problem doing that. Well, we had to vote on it a couple
the second
times,
time,
but it got done that way, and I can see the reasoning, and I agree with it. Is that this gives the voters the top one is going to be the road situation and the education.
and
Those are the two biggest things that need to get done. Then down below, you're going to look for your downtown area and so on and so on. So they'll have a chance to.
You could split, and they could say, "Yeah, we'll take one." Everybody wants the roads.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people want education as well. But the thing, probably one of the most important things is it restricts you from using those funds for other projects. Education stays education. Road improvement stays road improvement. That's
the way it
main
was
reason why we did it.
originally proposed.
It was all looped in together.
He was going to have discretion to, how does he spend money, and that might be a little too much discretion, on the part. I agree.
Well,
with
I mean,
that.
yeah, I mean,
You know,
those bonds are written with language a little on the loose side, and they kind of have to be. Some of our guys wanted really,
wanted
really
to tighten
strict
it up too
language.
much. Yeah. But you have to have, you got to take a happy compromise somewhere in between, and
Yeah,
this lets the voters decide,
Yeah. That's basically what it boiled down to, and I totally agree with that. I think the mayor wanted to actually do it that way too. So together, on both sides of the table, we worked together, and it got done.
Now, we were talking before in the green room, Rogers Park has had some improvements. You want to talk about that? Or? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, we've always, for the past few years, we've had a lot of problems down there with the noise and the racing at night. So that's all been taken care of. The police department has done a great job. The Parks Department, Nick Kaplanis has pitched in, and things got done so that situation has been taken care of.
So is it dramatically less speeding and that kind of
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
They got the speed bumps.
Well, the speed bumps are on Lyons Way. There's 3 of them there, and they're debating whether to put a couple near the War Memorial.
On the
up
main
in
drag there.
On the main drag.
But yeah, I've noticed going through there,
Yeah,
it's
gotten
slower.
It's got a lot better than what it was. So that issue has been taken care of. Last year and then again this year, more so this year than anything, all of the fields there, the softball fields and the ball fields where the kids play, and especially the Westerners. The Westerners field, it was like a hill out in the outfield. You never knew where you're going to be or where the ball was going to land, and so on and so on.
And the ball might come rolling back.
Yeah, they never knew. So they tore up the whole field, put in drainage, and widened. There's a brook behind that field that goes in under the street and into wherever it goes, and they widened that quite a bit, deepened it. So all the drainage now from the water will come in through the pipes into that brook and then out. So hopefully they're going to be able to play without getting wet all over the place. So they had to cancel a few games because of the water had no place to go.
But see, on the other hand, in the long run, it's a much improved field.
very improved field. They're also going to do the soccer field. That's all going to be redone too, and so that'll be taken care of. There's a lot of good things happening.
How many people use that? Would you say a good chunk
A lot.
of it?
Yeah,
there's
a lot.
there's people
especially
that,
on weekends.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not just people in southern Danbury that are using
no,
it. It's,
From all over to use those
Yeah.
fields.
It's all from all over, out of state. You know, and the softball fields, a lot of out of state people come in and play and stuff like that. We have 3 food trucks there. They have to have a permit now, and that's worked out a lot better. Before we had a lot of problems there'd be 10 or 15 trucks all over the place, but we
fixed that
put an
a while
ordinance
ago.
in, we got rid
Yeah.
of that. So
Fixed a while ago.
the park is really
Improved.
coming along. A lot of improvements.
There's going to be some upgrades to the Westerners field as well. Some netting along the first and third base lines, and also behind
Yeah.
the backstop. You know,
Yeah.
they set a beer garden up over there.
for those that don't know what the Westerners are, there might be
Baseball
new people in town.
Yeah.
You know,
Kind of
so they're the baseball.
team.
Yeah. Okay.
With quite a few of their players have gone on to start in the minor leagues, and a few of them
I've
have gone up.
gone straight to the
Yeah.
majors or
Yeah.
whatever the next thing down is. Then we talked about the other thing that's happening in the Fifth Ward, and that's the Rizzo development there, which is an assisted living type of place.
Very good, yeah. Assisted
Right.
living.
Yeah, you want to talk about that, or
Well, yeah, the development started last year. We went to a groundbreaking, ribbon cutting. I drive by frequently, you know, over the hill to Whole Foods, and they're making some tremendous progress on it. Should be ready for occupancy another 4, 5, 6 months from now. But you know, don't forget, it's market rate. So what you may think is a reasonable price for some may not be so reasonable for others, but it is what they call market rate.
but the people that are in there are basically people that want people to look in on them.
Yeah, they have certain medical requirements.
Yeah.
And they do have a full staff of services that are available to people.
Right.
You know, it's kind of a la carte. So whatever you want, you can kind of buy into over time.
Yeah, so if somebody just wants them to look in from time to time, that's one thing. But
Yeah, I'm
there's
sure
a
there's a
number of
service for
other
that.
things. If they want a nurse to come by, or they want to, you know, those are all additional
You know, the
charges.
good thing about that is the final use. I mean, it was zoned for various types of commercial applications. I mean, there could be trucks backing up, beeping horns and jackhammers. But, you know, like Fred mentioned earlier, Rizzo Group decided to just turn it into that type of low-impact living arrangement. And so the neighbors were greatly appreciated over that.
Yeah, it's a quiet use, and
Quiet, yeah.
not to have.
You know, get a little traffic in the morning, maybe a little in the afternoon, but it kind of dies out at night because most of the people don't even have cars and drive.
Right.
It's a facility that the city has needed for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and we're really happy about it. It's going to be nice.
That's good. And that's again, when's that going to open totally? Or
I think by this fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're looking for I think for the fall.
All right. Very good. And then we get to the budget. Now, budget usually gets proposed at the April meeting, and then you've got a month to work on it.
Right. That's
All
right. We do have a committee which the mayor set up at last night's council meeting, strictly for the education budget, and it's usually the same group of people, myself included, because I've been a liaison.
Are you been on the you're on the education committee again?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
on that committee. I'll be on it again this year, and I was.
I
Don't let me on that committee.
did that back in the day. I did that.
They don't want me on that committee.
It's
It's work.
it is a lot of work. You got to go over a lot of stuff, but
That's not
we try
work.
and do the best we can for them. With it. They've got a lot of problems with student enrollment that they didn't know there was like 350 new kids coming on, and so on and so on. So they're looking to grab a building someplace to start things going in the right direction. But it's going to be interesting. This is going to be a tough budget. It really is.
Yeah, there was some controversy, or has been some controversy. Some cards went out, postcards, and they're talking about the advantage of this charter school, and we had a little bit of a discussion before. So who wants to take the hot potato and talk a little bit
Duane.
about that? Okay, Duane.
I'll fill in, but go ahead.
I don't know. I mean,
all right.
a lot of us are for choice as far as education, but we, for the most part, don't want our public dollars going toward charter schools. All right, that's the bottom line. As far as that piece that went out, it was just nothing but misinformation. All right, and that's the bottom line too.
Yeah, because it implied that somehow or other it was going to be for free, or that
misinformation,
and that somehow or other all these people in that area are going to be able to get into it. The people don't have a choice, is the way I understand it. You know, they're sort of like picking who goes in there.
It's selective enrollment process.
I don't believe that how they pick students is like the Madnick School does. They have a
It's supposed to be a
lottery. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the word. Thank you.
And the students can come from neighboring towns.
The students come from neighbor towns.
Right.
The charter school, and like I said before, I've looked at it quite a bit and read a lot of articles on it. I'm not saying it's bad or anything like that, but their way of doing things is a little bit different. They can pick and choose. Okay, and as far as the money goes, you don't know what's going to happen with them, because it's a
there isn't any state money. No state money has been allotted for charter schools.
No, as far as I've read and I've talked to several of our representatives, they're against the charter school. They're not going to even bring it up as a bill. Now, whether that goes that way or not, we don't know. But I'm open. I'm open to whatever we have to do, we'll do. But I think the magnet schools are doing very well in Danbury. But
right. Yeah. Now we have this issue where we've got X number of students that are in our schools, and we're renting trailers to give them space.
Yeah.
How many of these do you know? How many of these trailers there are? Are there like 10 of them? Or?
I don't know anything about the trailers, but
pods.
Well, they hook them on the back of a truck. That's why I call them a trailer. But it's a little more than that. Yeah.
I didn't hear about that part. But what that last bond that we talked about was to get some additional classroom space. We're not exactly sure where it's going to be, but that's one of the main objectives, is to get more classrooms. And according to the city administration, they think that if they do pick up 6 or 7 extra classrooms, that could alleviate for some of this increased enrollment. So that's the goal.
They're looking at the building on Osborne Street right now, and also in addition, I think, is to the Ellsworth Avenue School, which is on the former football field. Those are the only two that I've heard.
But that wasn't in the bond.
No,
bonding money would be used to do that work.
Right.
So.
So when the time comes, and hopefully the Board of Education would go and say, yeah, we'll go along with that, or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be nice for them to come with a little bit of a plan as well.
Because that's the way that should be handled. The Board of Education handles education, and they should have a hand in saying, yeah, this area here is, there's a real need over here, and then work with the mayor on a solution.
Well, things are changing, so there's so much busing to get students back and forth to different locations. It would be just a matter of just transportation. Kids come from different places now. It's not so much neighborhood type stuff anymore as much as it used to be.
Yeah, that's true. So there's that issue, and then is there any issues with the roads?
Our infrastructure needs a lot of work. I don't know nobody's going to disagree with that statement that I just made. We need a lot of work to be done.
Do we need more men, more people to actually do the
I
work?
don't think so. The equipment that they have now in today's age is a lot better, a lot quicker to get things done, and it lasts
a lot longer.
Like Mr. Iadarola said last night's meeting, once we get started in April, you're going to see roads being done day after day. So I think that hopefully by fall, the end of summer, we're going to have a lot of infrastructure taken care of, or as much as they possibly can, because it's there. It needs to be taken care of, and everybody knows that. So hopefully that's what will happen.
Yeah, we talked and have conversations with the Public Works Director as well. One of the main things he wanted us all to understand is that they're always looking into different alternatives and different methods of road repair or replacement. You know, typically they would do a milling and a repaving. There's other things called cold and sealed in place. There's all types of dropping down various tar substrate and put aggregate on top. That works well in some places. I mean, it wreaks havoc on some of the plow blades, but it's still another method of road improvement, and that's something that they are looking into based on different types of studies and empirical data.
But of course, once you put the road in, then you got to see, okay, what are you putting in to melt snow? And some of that stuff accelerates the road deterioration.
Well, yeah, and that's part of the whole scientific study. It's all scientific, because I got a pretty lengthy response from the highway department.
Yeah.
And he, basically talked to me in ways that I can understand, and that's what he was saying. Also, maintenance. I mean, a lot of those cracks need to be sealed so that water and stuff doesn't get in them. So that's also part of their program. So, you combine all of that stuff together, and then you have a comprehensive plan to address this road thing. But it's just time, and it's just money,
Yeah. A lot of it's going to get done as much as they possibly can. The other thing too, John, is that within the bond, there's $8.5 million for downtown for sidewalks to be done, which they are in bad shape. They haven't been done the last 30 years or so. Yeah. So that's going to get taken care of. And
I couldn't believe it. I was downtown. I was walking down a stretch, and I said, "Boy, oh boy, this is the downtown." And there's sections that are rough.
Yeah, it needs to get done.
Yeah, we're still waiting from State Street South to get done, but that's a whole other thing.
That was never done.
They have a thing where they stop at a certain. They don't go any further.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's new housing coming online downtown. The old New Times building, they started demo on that.
Yeah,
so they'll be putting up,
that's going to be
140
apartments
units or so,
Yeah. And I was going to ask you, any police department issues, since we're in the same neighborhood there?
No, I mean, the police department had a few grants recently to refurbish the gym and part of the exercise room, and that's a great thing. We want our officers to be fit.
I didn't even know that. There's a gym in there, huh?
Yeah, there's
it's a big building, but I thought they had jails. They were going to fill a place with people or something.
They have a big cell block.
Oh, okay.
The trend is kind of toward going away from locking up as many people as possible.
But I mean, it was built for for all contingencies.
Yeah. I mean, you have to account for contingencies.
So having a gym there, I didn't know about the gym.
Reform too. Yeah.
They actually have a shooting range too.
Oh, they got a range in there.
Yeah,
okay.
that they use. And I might add that the fire department now, in the New Street headquarters, has a beautiful gym area there where the guys can work out and so on. So
they just
they had some donations.
You saw the old one in the boiler room.
Is he increasing the size of the police department? Because that was an issue a while back.
Compliance?
Yeah.
It's coming back up.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's up there. They're doing the best they can. Hey, major crime in Danbury it's in the bottom.
So there's no real rush because
we're doing good.
Yeah.
We're doing good.
Yeah. So no major crimes.
No, I mean, well, a lot of that's contributable to good police work, good community policing. It's also contingent on how well the economy's doing. I mean, if you want to work in Denver, you can get a job. We're not like some of these other communities that are plagued with a lot of pockets of poverty. We don't have that so much in Denver. That's why there's low crime.
No.
Also, the neighbors. I mean, they're not going to let too much go on in their neighborhoods without calling the police.
They're going to call and say, we got a problem over here.
Yeah, it's a whole community effort. Making sure that
somebody was telling me,
safe.
I think it was one of the policemen who was saying, there's stuff that goes on at the mall that you can say that goes on from time to time, but they increase the patrols and so that's an area where there's some activity that they get in there and then it dies down.
Yeah, probably no more than any other place.
But there isn't any real major stuff going on.
I think people are working.
Yeah, what like Duane said is. Everybody's working.
But that's in the 6th Ward. It's not a 5th Ward.
No, it's the whole city.
Just remember, we're talking to the 5th Ward here.
There's going to be
we represent more of the whole city than we do just a 5th Ward.
Yeah. But there's that. Any other areas that you're concerned about or whatever? The library got a grant. I remember that on the second floor. The children's library, I think, is being improved.
It's got something to do to redo the children's library, make it larger, more books and stuff, and seating for the kids to go in and talk.
Yeah, that's a state grant.
Yeah, a state grant.
Very, very good.
Well, you talk about the mall. There's going to be two new. There's what is it called? The steakhouse, a Lone Star Steakhouse or something like that. That's going in there.
Yeah.
And a Shake Shack or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's going to be done too.
I'll be glad when
two
Shake
new
Shack
businesses.
comes.
No,
Shake Shack is good.
it's not good for you.
Once in a while.
Yeah, you're going to be taking those cholesterol pills.
Yeah, the
later on.
cholesterol.
Oh, I got some of the best cholesterol numbers you ever seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, so I think I covered all. We've got like about a minute or so. So can you give your whatever you want to be contacted, your email, your cell number, whatever people got questions or.
I'll give email.
Okay.
It's Duane, Duane, 82 at AOL.com.
And could you repeat it?
Duane, 82 at AOL.com.
Any questions on council? That's the place to reach you.
That's
Okay.
the place to reach us.
All right.
Yeah,
And
mine is, you can also, for questions on the council or whatever, it's Mr. Phone, MRPHONE at MSN.com.
okay.
That's it.
And can you repeat it?
Mr. Phone.
There's people out there.
And I'll try to write it down real fast.
Mr. Phone, MRPHONE MSN.com.
Okay. Also on the City Hall website under elected officials.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's also on there.
It's on the website.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on the
Very
website.
good. All right. We got like a half a minute, so yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll cut it off there because otherwise we're going to go off, and then they'll be yelling at me. We went over.
We're just looking forward to the next budget. I mean, that's probably one of the most stressful parts of the whole council thing. But we're looking forward to taking those limited resources, just divvying them up over those important departments.
So I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, you're welcome. And I want to thank the viewers for tuning in, the community tuning in to the Danbury Dems. Good night for now, and see you next week.